Good morning, it's Saturday the 28th of February 2015. My name's Andy Rowe and this is trendfollower.co.uk, and in this video what I'm going to do is go through my open positions and have a look and see how they're doing, and just run you through my thoughts on my trade. So come along for the ride. I'm going to do these in alphabetical order, and I'm going to start with a company called Amara Mining, which is just going sideways really. So you can see where I went long Amara Mining. This was rising up from a low down here in the July of 2013, and looked like it was going in the right direction, and so I went long, and then it started to go back down, and it went up again and went down again, and it looks like its trading range is narrowing, and in lots of ways, as a trend trader, that's no bad thing, because often what will happen is that these things, and I'm talking about my trade here because this is what I want to happen, okay, trying to predict the future doesn't mean it's anything about what has happened, but this is how traders think. They talk about, think they can see the future, but the range of the price will narrow. This is sort of narrowing now. It's sort of bumping along here, and people allude it to a spring that's coiling up, and then what happens is that there comes a point where the price bursts forward. The spring springs open, and the price is unleashed, and the wonderful trader who's made this purchase then becomes rich beyond their wildest dreams. And of course, this is what will happen with Amara Mining, I would like to think, but whether it will, I don't know. But you can kind of see that it's gone up, it's gone down, not as down as it was. It's gone up, not as much as it did. Now it's gone down, not as much as there. So its range of movement is becoming narrower. So maybe this is the coiled up spring that's going to do well. If I just open the graph out, you can see it's got lots of potential, because it's been bumbling along. A bit of a low down here, but you can see how it has been up at a very high point, and I'm hoping that it'll go back to that. So my stop is way down here. I'm not going to move the stop. I'm just going to sit it out and hopefully see this coiled spring unleash and make me untold millions. Well, a few quid anyway. So there we go. So that's Amara Mining. I'm sorry I'm getting carried away with my dreams about Amara Mining. So let's talk about BT Group. Now, BT Group, I went long BT Group. I should draw an arrow in, but I haven't. I did this, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I went long about here. I think about £4.40. Now it's about £4.55. It's a trade that's in profit. So the MA20 had moved back above the MA50, to which for me is a good sign. There was higher highs, there are higher lows. It just looks like it's trending, and if I just open the graph up, there's plenty of room for expansion. It's been going up, like many shares recently. Through 2014, things kind of went a bit sort of flat or down a bit, and now it's going up. So I'm just tracking it up. So that's BT Group. So not quite a sort of powerful dream as Amara Mining, but maybe it'll make more profit than Amara Mining. Amara Mining at the moment is a loss-making trade, so it's not really trend following that. It's sort of dreaming, you could say. BTG. This is a pharma stock. I went long, not quite at its high, but pretty close to it, and it's pretty much just been falling away ever since. So my stop is here. Now this is the MA50, and it's rising because BTG has been a rising stock, and this is quite neat, because what's happening is each week I'm ratcheting in the stop loss, so it just goes up and up and up and up and up. Now if the price keeps falling down, obviously the two will meet and that will close the trade. But essentially what it means is that my trade won't make a full loss. If the MA50 hadn't been rising and my stop loss was say down here, and I just kept it level, then this would drop right down possibly and make more of a loss. But because the MA50 is rising, the stop loss, I'm tightening it up each week, and this means that unless BTG gets its act together and starts going up again, the trade's going to close. It's going to lose me some money, not as much money as it could potentially lose if if the stop loss wasn't being ratcheted in. But I like each week to be able to just tighten up the stop loss each week. Essentially, and we'll see this with a couple of trades later on, what I like to do is move a trade gradually to a no risk position, so that essentially, if the price moves against me, I'll get taken out for no loss whatsoever, but preferably for a profit. What I don't like is to have stop losses that don't move, and because some of the trades that I've done have not really been trend trades, they've been more counter trend trades. Until those trades are really in profit, I can't move the stop loss up because there's no logical place to put the stop loss. And that's the challenge with some of the trades I've done. They've not been great trend trades, to be honest. So, but BTG was a trend trade. This was going up. This was absolutely the right thing to do, was to go long BTG. All the evidence there was for it to rise. Plenty of room for the stop. I'm ratcheting it in. Hopefully this will turn around and go back up again. You can see how back at the end of 2013 the price rose up and then it fell back down, and you'd have been sick buying it here, seeing the price drop away, but it didn't hit the stop loss and has gone on to do great things, and hopefully the same will happen. I don't know what's going to happen with BTG, but what I do know is that each week I'm just tightening the stop loss in, and if the price drops, that will close the trade, but hopefully it won't. It'll turn around and go back up again, which is fine. So now this is my trade of this coming week. Dexian Absolute. This is an equity, a finance business. It's in the London Stock Exchange, and you can see how the price has been going up. This is a nice simple line, isn't it? If I was looking for a stock graph that was going to be a steady trend trade, it would look like this. It would go from bottom left to top right, with not too much zigzagging in between, and that's what Dexian Absolute's graph shows us. So the MA20 is above the MA50, a fairly static amount, which is fine. I'm going to go long Dexian. I've set an order that's a stop order, so if the price rises just a little bit more, then I'll be in the trade, and I'll go with it. My stop loss will be below the MA50, and again I'll just ratchet my stop loss in, and what I want to be is in a position like perhaps back here. It was going up, could have gone long, and if I just ratcheted up, then a number of months later, 6 months later, I'd be at break even, and then just ratcheting profit in all the way. That's the ideal thing. A nice steady rise and a pulling in of the stop loss. That just makes sense. And each week, if I just add another trade, then that's the money machine working nicely. Very much unlike this trade, which was the opposite. So this was a counter trend trade. This is sugar, and you could see I went long sugar. For some reason, I decided that sugar was going to go up. There was no evidence for that. The price was falling. The MA20 was below the MA50. It was all going downwards, but for some reason, I thought that it was going to go up. And I'll tell you the reason why. If I open the graph up, that's the reason why, because the lows were down here and it's coming down to it's hovering around its all-time lows. But this is trying to catch a falling knife, and so what's happened is that it went up a little bit, which was rather nice, and made me feel like I'm a soothsayer and can predict the future. But now it's fallen back down again. So this is a trade that's losing me money, and oops, sorry. If I just open the graph up, if it goes right down to this red line, I'll be out of it. Now I'm not going to close the trade. I'm just going to sit this one out because there's no point changing the strategy on the trade. Basically, I'm just hoping for a turnaround, and I may be lucky, and if that happens, this could do really well. If it doesn't, I'll lose money. This is not a trend trade though, so nor is wheat. So same thing happened here. I thought that wheat had decided to come back from the dead. It had risen up through the MA50, but the MA20 was way below here, and then it fell back down again. And since then, it's sort of jiggled around a bit. Now, fortunately, it hasn't gone right down and hit my stop, so but it's not very far off it. And if the price goes down a bit, then that will kill this trade. But it's not a trend trade, so I don't know what I was doing that. I'm just trying to be clever. I think it's quite addictive thinking that you can predict the future and you know, I find that I'm quite tempted to do that sort of trend where, you know, I'm kind of being the big bold trader, you know, catch the bottom, off we go, and I'm the one with all the knowledge. So it's a sort of form of arrogance, really, and I've got to be really careful about not trading like that. Fresnillo hasn't done much. It's falling down again. This is the world's largest silver miner. It looked to me like they were rising. The MA20 had been above the MA50 but had fallen back down. It made a low here which wasn't quite as low as this low, so I've bought it. It's a bit like the Amara mining graph, isn't it? So I think essentially the range over which Fresnillo share price will trade is going to become increasingly narrow, and then I hope that it will burst upwards. Now, you know, you could argue that maybe wait for it to burst upwards, Andrew. You know, I possibly should have waited for it to go above this high, you know, above the £10 mark. But I bought it as soon as it popped through the MA50, rightly or wrongly. And you know, it's the trade currently is going against me, and you know, I can't ratchet in the stop loss because the MA50 is going down. My stop's down here, so as each week goes by, I'm not tightening up my stop loss, and if that falls right down, I'll make a full loss on that. So you know, this might come and bite me, but it's not a trend trade, so got to be really careful about that. If you're trying to trend trade, you know, at the moment you can argue that this is just trying to pick up some good value. You know, maybe it's not a bad idea. That's fine. Well, we'll see. Man Group, this is a trend trade, and you can see it was rising. You know, the MA20 was above the MA50. It made a new high. I went long here, and you know, look at that. You know, just because it made a new high doesn't mean it's you know, too expensive. Things that are expensive can get even more expensive, and Man Group shares have done. They're a financial services company. Now my stop was below the MA50, and I was ratcheting it up, but I think a couple of weeks ago I cranked it right up to a break-even stop loss. So my stop loss is about here. It's above the MA50. This has done so well that I'd be gutted if it made me a loss now. So it won't make me a loss. And in another, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, the MA50 will be up at my break-even point, and I'll start to use that again as my stop loss on a week-by-week basis. So this is doing really well. This has made me, I think, twice my risk so far. It's really good. So nice trade, love it. And Northgate, now you might recall from a video and a blog post I did a year or so ago that Northgate had done me really well. So this is the share graph of Northgate. So you can see I went long Northgate somewhere here and did really well, and then closed out the trade here. Their share price went up above the MA50, tail end of 2014. I didn't go long, but I have done now, and here we go. So last week I went long Northgate, and their share price then dropped back a little bit. So my stop's down here, and you know, we'll see what happens to Northgate. Telecity have done well, but the past couple of weeks have dropped back a little bit. Again, this is on a break-even stop. So if it all goes pear-shaped on me, I won't lose money. But you know, it's one of these share prices that has been a sort of darling of the stock market. Fell back down, and now it looked like it's climbing back up again. Hopefully, it will continue to rise. So I'm on a break even there. Victoria Oil and Gas. Again, this is a speculative counter-trend trade. You can see where I went long VOG here, and it's been very volatile. And this week it's done okay actually, but again, I'm not cranking in the stop loss. It's moved up and down so much. There's no point putting my stop loss above the MA50 because it will just get hit and I'll lose money. So you know, I can't reduce my risk on this trade really until this share price is significantly in profit, and this price channel I think is above the MA50, and then I think I'll start using the MA50. I'll probably wait for it to go into decent profit, move the stop loss to break even, and then crank it up. So or I'll lose money if it fell down next week, boom, down here, you know, that's the end of it. So There we go. So I think that's all my position. No, complete rubbish. There are more positions. Don't go away. William Hill. So I opened William Hill last week as well. Again, famous kiss of death. You open, you go long something, and the price drops back. If I open the price out, you can see William Hill. They're bookmakers, gambling business. So fantastically good share price rise up until the middle of 2013. Then the share price fell back down, and it looks like it's rising again. So that made me go along. The MA20 was above the MA50. It had made a new high. What's not to like? Well, I don't know. I bought it and then the share price fell, so I don't know why. I don't follow the news, just see what happens. My stop is down here where this price channel is. Once the price channel comes above the MA50, I'll use the MA50 as my stop. But it was a big price drop this week, so that was a mega pain. But we'll see. People like gambling, and companies like William Hill hopefully will do well. Wincanton continues to do well, nice steady rise in their share price. You can see the MA50, again I'm just cranking it in each week. This is now at a no loss position. So I went long Wincanton about 6 months ago, and it's just been a real plodder, and done just great. And this is nice. So no one really would dispute that this is a rising share price. I'm now at break even, and hopefully it will continue to go up. If I open the graph up, it's got plenty of potential. It was up at £4 something. It's now at £1.72. It's been a great trade so far, and this is the sort of trend trading that I should be doing. I shouldn't be trying to catch the bottom of things and hope they'll turn around, because they can really turn around and bite me. I mean, when it works well, it's great, but that's not really what I should be doing as a trend trader. What I should be doing is doing more boring stuff, because it's the boring stuff I think that probably is making me money. So far, it's the boring stuff that is the profitable trades. The exciting stuff, the turnaround stuff like oil and gold mining and so on. Yeah, okay, maybe. But my message to myself is find something that's trending nice and obviously, and just join the trend, and crank the stop loss in and see how it goes, because I think that's the way to go. One more trade, Workspace Group. Again, look at this, nice rising share price, not complicated. Not trying to decide, is it going to go up, is it going to go down? This is rising. That's it, it's rising. The share price hasn't even touched the MA50. The MA20 is above the MA50, no problem. And so it made a new high. I went long Workspace 2 weeks ago, I think, and it's already in profit. Nice profit this week. The price went up nicely. Why do I make it so difficult and try and catch the stuff that's turning around? There's no point trying to do that, because for every one that I manage to pick the bottom of, I'll get one that I'll lose, and so there's no point really. It's but it's difficult to stop myself doing it. It's a sort of compulsion to try and predict the future. It's a bit like trying to pick the winner in a horse race. When you do well, it's great. You think you have a gift, but most of the time you don't. And I need to remind myself of this. Find existing trends and get on board, and preferably trends that are starting. Not the start, but an established trend that's going, but isn't burnt out. And that I guess that's the difficulty, because like looking at Workspace Group, this has been trending upwards for a few years now. Is it going to burn out and fall? Don't know. That's the hard thing. Look at that though. I mean, up, down, up. I mean, it's not complicated. And I think that's the thing. It's just to keep it simple, Andrew. Keep it simple, and you do okay. I'm ranting. Rant over. Have a good week, and I will catch up with you next weekend. Okay. Bye.